Hey, I just wanted to give some final advice for people that are in the market for new or used vehicles, looking for a vehicle change or upgrade, some vehicles to consider and some vehicles to consider not purchasing and avoiding, just to save you money and so that you get the best experience with a vehicle that suits your needs and at the best value for money price point. Now, for people that aren't travelling the outback of Australia or particularly going on dirt tracks and off-road, they're probably not watching or listening to this video, but they don't need to buy a four-wheel drive. They don't need a Patrol, a 300 series, a 250 Prado or anything like it. Simply, the Toyota range of petrol hybrids is really awesome, and a lot of people haven't quite got their head around it yet. They don't need to be plugged in. The range is a lot greater than most other vehicles, whether it's electric or diesel. You might be surprised to hear that. They have absolutely awesome fuel economy and reliability. So, you know, if it's just a small car and you're not really traveling much, a Corolla would be the cheapest to run. We've got a Corolla hybrid. It can get well over 1,000 kilometers range, and I say well, that's an absolute minimum, and it'll cost you about $60 to fill up, and you don't need to plug it in anywhere whatsoever. It's got quite good power and torque. I'm going to do another video soon, putting it in layman's terms, what the difference between power and torque is. So you might want to subscribe and turn the bell on now so you don't miss that, because you might find that interesting. And while I'm at it also, I just want to mention at the moment the Prado hospital is closed. We're just doing a little trip. You can see cruising down the highway here. More details of that on our other YouTube channel, 4x4 Adventures. Now back to the car purchases. So the Corolla, that's probably your base entry level. Good for the, you know, I suppose the kids have moved out, you're a bit older, that sort of thing, you know. If you want something a little bit bigger, personally, I love the Camrys. I think the Camrys have always been great cars. They've always been a top choice for a family vehicle that can tour Australia, like it can do all this sort of stuff as well. You know, if you're not going out hitting the tracks full driving, you know, that's really all you need. But moving upwards, you've got your RAV4s and your Klugers. Certainly, I would recommend if you're buying a new vehicle, you only buy them in petrol hybrid. They are really reliable. You're not going to have any problems with anything. They're just unbelievable how good they are. Even used vehicles, probably okay as well, but you just might not save much money there because they're so good, they just don't drop value. They hold value like real estate, these Toyotas. Anyway, if you're after a four-wheel drive, now, you can do whatever you like. Some people like the look of the 250, some people don't. Some people like Range Rovers and Jeeps, some people don't. Some people like Volkswagens and MGs, some people don't. Some people like Nissan Patrols, some people don't, right? Each to their own. But my information, trying to help myself and you guys just the same, no difference, saving money, choosing reliable vehicles that'll keep you on the road, reliable and tick the box to get the job done, and the maintenance being the best value for money option, and possibly longevity. So I'm going to include maybe how long you should sort of keep these vehicles depending what vehicle and what engine you've got. Now, you know I love the Prados and the Hiluxes, the 1KDs. I've got three, so each to their own on what they look like, but I'm not necessarily talking about looks from a mechanical background perspective and extensively using vehicles to travel around in Australia. As I was saying, I've got three vehicles with a 1KD, we've got a Prado with a V6, we've got a Corolla hybrid, we've got an old Commodore there, and I'm going to add something else to the fleet, and I'm going to talk about why I chose that vehicle over another very popular vehicle, and very good reasons to do so in a separate video to this. Another reason you might want to subscribe and turn the bell on so you don't miss that. But next level, if you want to get into a four-wheel drive, something that can hit the tracks and get out on the beaches and the sand with a lower risk of getting bogged, you're probably thinking maybe the Prado's for you. Now, Prados traditionally have been awesome touring vehicles that are very capable on the rougher tracks also, especially with a couple little mods like some heavy duty tyres and a bit of a lift and maybe some underbody protection. But with the 250 Prado, I think it's a real game changer. It's a totally different vehicle. It's still going to be capable on the tracks and tick the boxes for most of those things anyway, but you've got an engine. The vehicle's much heavier now. The engine's still small. There's reasons for that I'm not going to go into in this video, but I believe even the 150 Prado with that smaller engine, it's undersized, and there's a lot of people that have owned both like myself that agree. Now we've got a vehicle that's even heavier with a strap-on 48 volt garbage system that basically does nothing. You've got a rough, bouncy ride and a heavy vehicle with a smaller engine. In my opinion, it's not a tow vehicle, so I wouldn't be buying that for towing, and I wouldn't be buying it for longevity with all these technology things like that 48 volt system that's already proven problematic. There's so many people having a whinge about that, so I'm not going to go on about that too much, other than from the moment I saw the setup and I drove road tested two of these vehicles, I wasn't happy with the vehicle in so many ways. There's a few things we like, the quality, but let's move on from that one. So then you say, okay, you know, I don't like the look of it personally. I don't like the look of the 250. I didn't like the 300 when it came out. I don't particularly love it now, but it's grown on me, and I think it looks really awesome. A GR Sport in white. I think they look great, that black and white with the red badge. I really think they look good, and if you could get one, I probably would have purchased one. So that not good looking Prado that's just as heavy as a 300 series with the undersized engine push me to a 300 quite easily. If I wanted to be smart and wise, I'd buy a GX for 100 grand, because that's about how much a Prado is. You can get a vehicle about the same size and weight, about 2.5 ton, with a larger towing capacity and a bigger engine, a 3.3 litre V6 twin turbo, much more capable of maintaining speed and safely overtaking on the highways, particularly when towing, which is what you want. You want to sort of be safe is one of the boxes that you want to tick if you're going to be travelling around and towing caravans and stuff. And you've got to know, if you don't know, people do speed up when you're overtaking them, right? So everybody knows that, everybody agrees with that. You can put in the comments if you don't agree. You'll be the only one we're going to throw rocks at you. Are you the person that speeds up? Just take note and please don't do that. It's dangerous. Now that's a separate video. Subscribe, turn the bell on. So you get the picture. 300 series though, luckily for me, it's not available. It's been out of production for a while now, and apparently it's not coming back until, you know, coming months perhaps. But we're not too sure when it's coming back really. The talk is April, but I've got a suspicion that it's got to meet stricter emission standards. It's got to meet, you know, stricter emission standards. There's the whole new vehicle emissions scheme. I'll talk about that in another separate video, so subscribe, turn the bell, and we've got lots of things to talk about. And you really need to know about it and how it works, because it's going to affect you a lot depending what vehicle you want to buy over the coming years from 2025 over, say, the next 2, 3, 4 years. It's heavy duty how strict it gets, right? So let me get past this one. See the old 1KD, it does the job, mate. Job done, no problem at all, without even pushing it, you know. So that brings me back to the quick, my vehicles are not going anywhere, right? Last of the best. But however, there could be a better option. Moving up the video a bit, so 300 series, you can't get one. You can't get one. I drove one, yep, goes good. I had one come on a couple of trips recently. It's in the videos in Full Before Adventures. I like it, and it's a lot of money, right? So unless you know someone, you're talking about what, $160,000, $170,000 vehicle. Everybody okay there, right? That's got a bunch of injectors and pipes still that wear out. It's got DPFs, probably 2 of them. It's got 2 turbos, you know, because turbos do let you down every now and then on petrols or diesels, right? It's got, let's just leave it at that, right? There's some engine failures, small oil sump. How long is it going to last? Are they going to improve that when it comes back? Are they putting a new sump with a bit more oil? You know, put 7 or 8 litres like the 4-cylinder Prados, you know, instead of 5 point something, you know, like, does it even make sense? So why would I pay more for a vehicle that doesn't quite tick the boxes, you know? Copy. It doesn't quite tick the boxes. You're paying all this money. It's a nice car, but problematic in the long term is my concern, right? And it's a lot of money. If I'm going to spend a lot of money, I don't want to have concerns in the long term. I want to spend a lot of money and go, this thing's going to be good in 20 years. Like this 1KD I'm driving now, right? Doing the maintenance on it, replacing components, wheel bearings that are sealed, no maintenance, and you can keep it on the road sort of thing, right? Now, my concerns are you're not going to be able to do that easily or without a great expense. So it wasn't available. I wasn't that excited about it. I'll be honest, I probably wouldn't have even looked at the dark side, except that you couldn't get a 300. And it's probably a good thing that's happened, because when I compare it properly, I go, okay, what's left? A Nissan Patrol. There's all these other makes and models of vehicles, but I don't want to go to Holdens and Fords, and Isuzu's probably not bad on the driveline, but they're a cheaper car. They're not bad options. I'm not bagging out all the other cars. Some of them are bad options. This is not that video though. This is a video about the way I see it is you need to stick with a Toyota range, petrol hybrids, pick the vehicle that suits your requirements, avoid the Prado diesel in my opinion, at least wait for the petrol hybrid to come. I think if you like the look of the vehicle, the quality will be there, and it's going to be a lot more reliable and probably efficient, and probably even the range will be up. I'm not sure, but you know, I just feel like when they put the proper petrol hybrid, not some strap-on garbage, it's going to work so much better. You don't want a diesel engine stopping and starting, which means if the 300 comes back like that, well, guess what? They've ruined that as well, you know? Just ridiculous, you know? A lot of these people with those Mazdas, what do? As soon as they get in and start the car, they turn that thing off. You know, you nudge forward at the light, move a bit, on, off, on, off, on, off. Oh, ridiculous. Anyway, that's another story, right? Bit of a rant. Just put nice rant in the comments if you like it so far, or when you get to the end of the video. We're nearly there, right? I'm not going to take too much longer. So I went and had a look at it. I drove a Patrol about, I'm guessing 8 or 10 years ago. Went like a rocket ship SS Commodore Club Sport 08 in a Patrol. Back then the story was good, you know, it's a Renault engine, blah blah blah, it's a story. I've done no research to know that that's solid information or not, but it makes sense, okay? The engine's good, the transmission's good, the driveline's good, they're solid, doesn't have any issues. If people want to pick something up on these cars, they're going to say, oh, they chop out rear tyres. That it seems to be people that haven't got the correct setup for how they're loading them. I'd say they can take a decent load without mods, but I haven't got one to confirm. That's why I'll probably have one soon and be able to give you a lot more accurate information on it. I actually spoke to the owner of a Nissan dealership, friend of a friend sort of thing, right? He's got no reason to pull any, you know, whatever, smoke and mirrors, right? He's not selling me a car. He tried to, but I got it cheaper. He's not selling me a car. And then I said, look, honestly, what's the go with these cars? Are they any good? What problems do they have? And he's like, man, he goes, they're good. So mechanically, the engine's good, the transmission's good, the driveline's good. We don't have problems with these cars. There's a couple, there's a few that might have some paint issues. It's going to be all sorted out under warranty, right? 5-year, 10-year warranty, depends who you service it with and all that sort of thing. So you've got up to a 10-year warranty, which is really good as well. It's a lot cheaper than a 300 series. By the comparison on the fuel economies, I believe it will be cheaper to run towing on fuel, on unleaded, than a 200 series towing on diesel. That's what a preliminary finding so far. You can let me know in the comments if you've got both, and there's stories of people that own both that tow the same thing that have come up with they're about the same. There's some people reckon the petrol's more economical. I can tell you I've seen a lot of Patrols on this trip. There goes one the other way. They are an awesome highway cruising vehicle, and they get good economy from all reports you can get. If you're not towing and you're cruising 110, you're probably going to get about 11 litres per 100 k's, yeah? About the same as a 4-cylinder diesel Prado. Cold starts, short trips, it's not what you want it for. You're going to start it up cold, you're going to chew the fuel. Bigger engine, more torque, more power. It's just going to do it easier than a smaller engine that's working harder, and it's not going to bother the engine. The 7-speed auto Triptronic, you can force the gears up. I just think it's a great package. I think it's pretty good value for money. It's quality made in Japan. I think I'm going to give it a go. There's more info to go, so subscribe, turn the bell on, and bada bing, we'll talk about it some more, but I hope you get the picture. A lot of people need to stop buying these strap-on diesels that don't even need four-wheel drives. They could just as easy go buy a Kluger. Kluger's a nice car, petrol hybrid, away you go, longevity, 20 years, 30 years, look after it, just keep driving the thing, low cost to maintain, less work to do compared to a four-wheel drive. It's a no-brainer. Save even more money, jump in the Camry. If you like the RAV4, grab that. You think I'm sponsored by Toyota? There's no sponsorship. Toyota, dealers or Australia or anywhere has never contacted me anything about anything, right? It's just I promise, I swear on the Bible, I'm giving my God honest truth, reviews and information and recommendations on motor vehicles and repairs, and I've got a bit of experience on doing it and using the vehicles to travel, okay? Been around 50 years, so I've got a bit of experience. There's plenty of people with more than me, and I find people with more than me, they'll tend to agree with most of what I come up with. And if you see people that agree with me and give the same information, well, there are probably some people you can listen to. If you're listening to people that say things that are different, well, that's not what, then really you've got to start having a look at why, and that's why I try and show you why. That's why I've owned two 1GDs in 150 Prados and I don't anymore, right? So I say do as I say, not as I do, but this is a good example of what I do, right? 1GD's gone, okay? Each to their own. You're probably going to be lucky. Most people aren't going to have any problems. I don't want everyone to go in a panic and need to sell their 1GD. But if I was keeping a 1GD, I would listen to all my other videos because I've got recommendations on what I would do. If I was going to keep a 300 series, any of these vehicles, a 250 Prado, I'll have information, recommendations, but this video is done. Hope you enjoyed the sunshine and the drive. Catch you on the next one. If you want to see what's happening on this trip, we're going to go back to where we were bulked, stuck in the mud, find all those places, all the beautiful coastline, all the parts we missed last time. There'll be photos on our Facebook group, 4x4 Adventures. If you're on our YouTube 4x4 Adventures, 4x4 Diesel now, we've got a Facebook group called 4x4 Diesel. Anyone in Australia can join that. Just remember to answer the 3 questions. No swearing, please. In the comments on Facebook, on YouTube, no personal attacks, just stay calm. Bada bing, bada boom, baby. Catch you on the next one.